Hi everyone, I hope all of you are doing well. I am Dr. Jogendra Kumar Bastia, neurospecialist, SKS Neuro Hospital, Hyderabad. There is one thing I have learned in my practice. It is that no one likes headache. Dear friends, headache is the most common health problem worldwide, affecting more than 50% of the adult population. Out of them, more than 20% of the population experience repeated attacks in the form of migraine, tension type, or other special headaches which occur repeatedly over months to years. Most of the time, when you think of headache, we think of some painkillers. But actually, managing headache is much more than just taking painkillers. Did you know? Many headaches can be influenced by what you eat or don't eat. From dehydration to nutrient deficiencies, your diet plays a significant role in keeping these thriving pains at bay. Let's explore how foods can help us to say goodbye to headaches. We have been there, a busy day, things to do, places to be, and suddenly that telltale throbbing starts in your head. Often, the culprit is something we don't even think about: an empty stomach. When you skip meals, your blood sugar level drops. This can trigger a cascade of events as your body needs to compensate by releasing hormones that tells your brain we need fuel. These hormonal shifts can lead to a pounding headache. Think of it like this: your brain is a high-performance engine. It needs the right fuel to run smoothly. Skipping meal is like running that engine on fumes. Eventually, it's going to sputter and protest. The good news: this headache trigger is easily avoidable. Make sure to eat regular, balanced meals throughout the day to keep your blood sugar stable and your brain happily humming along. Listen to your body. If you feel those fast pangs of hunger, don't ignore them. Grab a healthy snack to tide you over until your next meal. The brain will thank you. Caffeine, food or foe? Caffeine. That morning pick-me-up, that afternoon slump buster, that beloved beverage that many of us cannot imagine living without. But let's face it, our relationship with caffeine can be complicated. While that cup of coffee can be a welcome boost, too much caffeine, or ironically sudden caffeine withdrawal, can be a major headache trigger. Our bodies get used to a certain level of caffeine, and when that level drops suddenly, bam, the dreaded caffeine withdrawal headache strikes. How does this happen? Caffeine is a vasoconstrictor, meaning it narrows blood vessels in the brain. When you consume caffeine regularly, your body adjusts and those blood vessels dilate slightly to compensate. But when you suddenly stop or significantly reduce your caffeine intake, those blood vessels overdilate, leading to, you guessed it, a throbbing headache. The key here is moderation and consistency. Limit your caffeine intake to 1 or 2 cups of coffee or tea per day, and try to maintain a consistent caffeine routine to avoid those withdrawal headaches. And remember, caffeine lurks in many places: coffee, tea, energy drinks, chocolate, and even some sodas. Be mindful of your intake, and if you are experiencing frequent headaches, consider gradually reducing your caffeine consumption to see if it helps. Alcohol. Let's raise a glass, or may not be, to the complex relationship between alcohol and headache. While a glass of wine with dinner might seem harmless, alcohol, especially red wine, can be a major headache culprit for many people. Red wine, in particular, contains compounds called tannins and histamines, which can trigger those dreaded throbbing sensations. Tannins are naturally occurring compounds found in the skin and seeds of grapes, and they can cause blood vessels to dilate, potentially leading to headaches. Histamines, also found in the red wine, are involved in the body's immune response, and they can also dilate blood vessels and trigger inflammation, not exactly what you want when you are trying to avoid a headache. On top of that, alcohol is a diuretic, meaning it dehydrates the body. And as we know, dehydration is a major headache trigger. So, what's the solution? If you choose to enjoy alcohol, moderation is key. Drink plenty of water alongside alcoholic beverages to stay hydrated, and be mindful of your body signal. If you notice that certain types of alcohol, like red wine, tend to trigger your headaches, it might be best to avoid them or enjoy them sparingly. Aged cheese. When flavor bites back. Cheese lovers, I have some potentially bad news. That delicious aged cheddar or creamy blue cheese might be contributing to your headaches. I know, it's a tough pill to swallow, but let me explain. Aged cheese contains a compound called tyramine, which forms as protein breaks down during the aging process. Tyramine is a natural occurring amino acid, but in people who are sensitive to it, it triggers a cascade of events that lead to, you guessed it, a pounding headache. How does it happen? Tyramine causes blood vessels to constrict and then dilate, which can trigger a headache, especially in the people who are prone to migraine. Some of the biggest tyramine offenders in the cheese world includes aged cheddar, blue cheese, Swiss cheese, and Parmesan cheese. But don't despair, cheese fans. There are still plenty of delicious options that are lower in tyramine. Fresh cheese like ricotta, cream cheese, and mozzarella are generally lower in tyramine and are less likely to trigger headaches. Processed meat, the hidden headache trigger. We all love a good hot dog or BLT every now and then, but those processed meats, while tasty, can be hiding a sneaky headache trigger: nitrates and nitrites. Nitrates and nitrites are used as a preservative in processed meats to prevent bacterial growth and extend shelf life. However, these compounds can also dilate blood vessels, which, as we have learned, can be a recipe for a headache. Hot dogs, bacon, sausage, deli meats, they can all contain nitrates and nitrites. And while these compounds are generally considered safe in moderation, if you find yourself reaching for processed meats regularly and experiencing frequent headaches, it might be worth exploring other options. The good news is that there are now many brands of nitrate-free or minimally processed meat alternatives available. Look for these options at your local grocery store, and as always, read labels carefully to be informed about what you are putting into your body. Foods containing MSG. MSG, the flavor enhancer that can pack a headache punch. Monosodium glutamate, or MSG, as it's more commonly known, is a flavor enhancer that's found its way into countless processed foods. While it adds a savory, umami flavor that many people enjoy, MSG has also been linked to headache in some individuals. MSG is a type of excitotoxin, meaning it can overstimulate nerve cells. In some people, this overstimulation can trigger headaches as well as other symptoms like sweating, flushing, and even chest pain. MSG is often found in fast foods, Chinese takeouts, canned soups, chips, and many other processed snacks. The best way to avoid MSG-induced headache is to read labels carefully, steer clear of the foods that list MSG as an ingredient. Opting for fresh, whole foods whenever possible is a great way to reduce your MSG intake and lower your risk of experiencing those unwanted headaches. Your body will thank you in the long run. Artificial sweeteners, too good to be true. We all love a sweet treat now and then, but those artificially sweetened snacks and drinks might be doing more harm than good, especially when it comes to headache. While the exact mechanism is still not fully understood, it is thought that artificial sweeteners may alter brain chemicals and nerve signaling pathways, leading to headaches in sensitive individuals. Artificial sweeteners are found in a wide range of products, including diet sodas, sugar-free gum, candies, and some low-calorie or sugar-free processed food. If you are experiencing frequent headaches, it is a good idea to take a closer look at your diet and see if artificial sweeteners might be a contributing factor. Opting for natural sweeteners like honey, maple syrup, or stevia in moderation can be a healthier alternative. Next offender is chocolate. A bittersweet truth. I have to admit, this one pains me to talk about because, like many of you, I love chocolate. But the truth is, this beloved treat can be a headache trigger for some people. Chocolate contains both caffeine and tyramine, two compounds we have already discussed as potential headache culprits. While the amount of each compound in chocolate are relatively small, they can still be enough to trigger headache in sensitive individuals. If you notice that your headaches tends to follow your chocolate indulgences, it does not necessarily mean you have to give up chocolate entirely. Try experimenting with different types of chocolate. Dark chocolate, for example, contains more antioxidants and less sugar than milk chocolate, which may make it a better choice for people who are prone to headache. As with any potential food trigger, moderation and paying attention to body signals are key. Next culprit, fermented and processed food. Fermented and pickled foods. Proceed with caution. Foods have gained immense popularity in recent years for their gut health benefits and for good reason. But if you are prone to headache, it's important to approach fermented foods with a bit of caution. Remember tyramine, that pesky amino acid we talked about earlier. It's back, and this time it's lurking in the fermented foods. The fermentation process can lead to the formation of tyramine, and for those who are sensitive to it, this can spell trouble in the headache department. Some of the biggest tyramine culprits in the fermented food world include sauerkraut, kimchi, soya sauce, and pickled vegetable. If you love fermented foods and don't want to give up them entirely, start by incorporating them into your diet gradually and in small amounts. Pay close attention to how your body responds, and if you notice they flare up your headache, it might be best to limit your intake or avoid them altogether. Next offender, ice cream and cold drinks. Ice cream headache when cold treats attack. We have all been there. That split-second brain freeze that hits when you take a big bite of ice cream or gulp down a icy drink too quickly. It's painful, it's annoying, but thankfully it usually short-lived. Ice cream headaches, also known as brain freeze, occurs when something cold touches the roof of your mouth, triggering a rapid constriction and then dilatation of the blood vessels in the head. The sudden changes in blood flow is what causes that intense stabbing pain. While ice cream headaches are generally harmless and tend to go away on their own within a few seconds or minutes, they can be more intense and longer lasting in people who are prone to migraine. The good news is that ice cream headaches are easily preventable. Simply slow down and savor your cold treats. By consuming ice cream, frozen drinks, and popsicles slowly and in small bites or sips, you can avoid that sudden temperature changes in your mouth and prevent brain numbing sensations. These all are all possible food triggers for headache. Food as medicine. Take control of your headache journey. So there you have it, the power of food in both preventing and triggering headaches. Remember, everyone's body is different. So what triggers a headache in one person might not phase another. The key is to pay attention to your own body's unique signals. Track your triggers by keeping a headache diary. Jot down what you eat and drink and note when you experience headaches. This can help you identify patterns and pinpoint potential trigger foods. And remember, portion sizes matter. Sometimes small amount of trigger foods might not cause any issues. Headache-friendly foods. Say goodbye to headache. Let's talk about some amazing superfoods that can help beat those headaches. First up, hydrating fruits. Watermelon, oranges, cucumbers are those foods rich in water content. They are very fantastic. Dehydration is a major headache trigger, so loading up on these can make a difference. Next, magnesium-rich foods. Magnesium is a good muscle relaxant. Think avocado, spinach, and lots of nuts. These super powerhouse foods relax your muscles and prevent those pesky tension headaches. Next superfood, whole grain diet. Oat, brown rice, whole wheat chapatis. All these diets keep your blood sugar level stable, which is key to avoid headaches. Next superfood, ginger. Known for its anti-inflammatory properties, ginger tea is a soothing remedy for migraine and many other types of headache. Next, headache preventing superfood, omega-3 foods. These are like salmon, few other fishes, chia seeds, and some other dry fruits and nuts. These contain a large amount of omega-3 fatty acids. These reduce inflammation, which is linked to migraine. Want some tips for a headache-free day? Stay hydrated. Aim for at least 8 glasses of water daily. Avoid long gaps between meals and pack healthy snacks for your busy days. Track your triggers with a food diary and cut back on processed food and excessive sugar. And here is a quick fix recipe. Ginger lemon hydration elixir. Mix 1 glass of water, a teaspoon of grated ginger, a squeeze of fresh lemon, and a teaspoon of honey if you like. Slowly sip and feel the refreshment. Taking mindful food choices and understanding how different foods and drinks can impact your headache patterns, you can take control of your health and live a happier, healthier, and headache-free life. Remember, your health is in your hands and on your plate. What are your homemade headache remedies? Share them in the comments below. Let's create a supportive community where we can learn from each other and conquer headaches together. Share this video to help others unlock the power of food in preventing headache. Say goodbye to headache and let food be your remedy.